Our family's always been interested in Australian architects and always sort of admired the work of Glenn Murcutt and Peter Stutchbury and some architects abroad like Tom Kundig as well. And bringing into this house all these ideas and studying and researching those architects, and particularly the ways that they define space and structure, as really kind of the foundation for the core concept of this house. This house is located on a 1 acre lifestyle block, 20 minutes north of Geelong, or just under an hour outside of Melbourne. It was a unique brief in a couple of ways. One was that it was for a semi-retired couple caring full-time with their daughter with special needs, and these people just happened to be my parents and sister. And part of the brief was to be connected with the garden at all times. And being located in southern Victoria, where summers are hot and winters are chilly, the house is oriented facing north with views to that garden. So summer shading was critical, and as was allowing maximum sun in the winter to hit the rammed earth wall down the centre of the house. You approach the house from the east and you arrive at the front door, which is located in a linkway between the garage and the house itself. Once you step through the front door, you're greeted with the rammed earth wall and a very inviting opening that you walk through and then straight into the main living, dining, kitchen zone, which has a wall of glass to the north that looks directly out into the garden. The rammed earth wall extends from inside to outside, and you get a glimpse of that when you're actually coming from the east. The rammed earth that was chosen uses local materials from the Yuyang's quarry. The rammed earth contractor was reluctant to use it in the first instance because he said it will have these rich red blowouts and divots in it, and I thought, well, that's kind of exactly what we want out of a rammed earth wall, and that tells the story and sort of makes it quite a unique wall that it is from this place. When people walk through the rammed earth wall for the first time and step into the house, I hope the first thing that they feel is a sense of calm and the care and the detail that's gone into creating this space. When you walk to the east, you can see straight through to the garden, but then there's actually 2 bedrooms tucked off the side, and there's quite an open ensuite that services both of those bedrooms as well. And that's part of my sister living with special needs and the care and attention that she requires. To the west is the 3rd bedroom, come study, come retreat. And that's separated from the kitchen with a covered walkway. And then to the south is all the utilities and services. So the house has 2 formal entertaining areas and outdoor sitting areas. So one is a fully undercover courtyard that has a full roof. The other is on the north side of the building that is completely open. And in the winter months, that allows full light to come through and the full sun to come through. And then in the summer months, it becomes completely usable because of the Warema pergola awning. So in the warmer months, the pergola awning opens up and it provides complete sun shading over that terrace and over the full height north-facing glazing. It also allows that glazing to be completely open and that indoor-outdoor connection to happen. Generally it's out when mum and dad are gardening outside and the door is open, and they'll just go in and out and they'll come here and they'll have a cup of tea underneath that in the shade. And it is that sense of veranda that back in the day people would congregate towards there on a hot day and have a break. That is the veranda of the house. But the beauty of it is it's only out when it's warm. When we do have family gatherings there too, that's the sort of the game spot when everyone's in the shade. So we'll get cornhole is played out on that terrace underneath the shade as well. There are quite a few materials in this project, and that's partly to provide a richness to the internal and external experience. There were 2 key drivers with the materials. One was in plan and having that rammed earth spine as the kind of pivot point from all the spaces and all the other materials sort of hanging off or interacting with. So to the north is all the rich materials. That's where the bigger glazing is, so all these materials can absorb the light. Whereas to the south, all the utility zones were white and bright, reflecting that diffuse south light. So each space is defined partly by the materials and the structure. And so overhead, we've got these fibre cement clad thin blade walls. That's above a datum height of 2.7 metres. And then below that line is all the timber linings, the rammed earth wall. The idea of the rammed earth being such a beautiful material and such a mass that goes all the way through the house, that it needed to be expressed in every space as well. So it's expressed in the living, dining, kitchen area really obviously, but it's also in the ensuite, it's in the bedrooms, it's in the laundry, it's in the mosaic studio, it's in all the spaces, and it's always a grounding point and a reference point for wherever you are in the house. You're always part of this wall. The ceiling was chosen as white plasterboard to reflect light back down. And so there's a galvanised steel awning outside, and the top of that is galvanised and it's bright silver. And so during the winter, the sun hits that and then bounces up onto the white ceiling and then washes down into the space. That was coming from the sections that Murcutt drew, coming through with high level windows and blocking out the summer sun and letting in the winter sun. With all projects that we undertake, sustainability is paramount. Passively, this house works really well. The thermal mass of the concrete, the thermal mass of the rammed earth wall provide essentially a temperature stable environment throughout the year, no matter what the temperature is doing outside. Where the Venetian blinds then give us that control all year round. And so you can control when the sun's hitting the rammed earth wall or not hitting the rammed earth wall. So with the high level windows, by having the external Venetian blinds, it allowed us to have a really short eave. And then by doing that, in winter, the sun gets maximum sun on that rammed earth wall. And then in summer, you can completely block it off. You can control it. My father's from Germany, and when we discovered we were made in Germany, that felt like a nice or natural connection. Then after we got into it, discovering that Shade Factor would work with us from the initial concept, making it part of the architecture as opposed to just a bolt-on afterthought was really appealing as well. Once it's integrated with the architecture, when they're retracted, you don't know that they're there, but then when they're down, you've got full control of this system. That ability to retract it and make them disappear was really appealing as well. So it enhances it or contributes to the overall design by creating this elevation that wouldn't have been achievable using traditional methods or without the external blinds. So they really do become integrated with the architecture and part of how that form looks. The house is powered completely by electricity. There's a solar array on the shed roof and also on the garage roof that feeds into a solar battery. And that produces the bulk of the energy requirements for the entire house. Being one of the first projects done under the banner of Wiesebrock Architecture, it is one of the, I guess, clearest and simplest manifestations of the philosophy of my practice. Everything has a reason. Materials are expressed honestly and structure is ordered and considered. The spaces are calm and they have a quality of coziness yet generosity with them as well.